What's up?
What's going on? We here. What's going on? Episode 2?
Number 12.
Dos. Episodes. Let's get it. Yes, sir.
Yes, welcome back, man. To Honestly Speaking, like my brother said, man, this is episode 2, man. It's just been a privilege to get the reaction, bro, from the first episode.
Yes. I watched it 5 times.
5 times.
I watched it 5 times.
How'd you feel about it?
Man, every time, I become more and more excited. Like, man, let's shoot another one.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't wait for the next one,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? People
bro.
responding positively.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are engaging. You know, and that's what we want.
I love it, bro.
What we want with this platform is for engagement, you know, with people who are like-minded, you know, but we do want to, you know, have conversation with people who are struggling in areas and who want to get better. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like we'll have chances and opportunities for people to come on and be a guest, and we're going to continue to talk about real things.
This is Honestly Speaking.
Right.
And we want you to speak honestly.
Right. Episode 2. Episode 2.
Like I said before, this platform is to serve you, the people who struggle with everyday things, real life things. And like my brother said, man, we can't wait to have guests on here, man, to get the perspective of people, man, that are living some incredible lives.
Yes, sir.
We may not all be famous, but we are all infamous in different ways.
Right. 100%. Yes, sir.
So I just want to put that out there to the people, man. We appreciate you guys. We thank you guys. Soon there'll be a link for donations. If you feel free to invest into this, like I said, this platform is for everybody, for people. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel, you know, led by God to bless this ministry that we have, me and my brother have, we're gonna have links up. Merch is coming soon. We're getting all that. We're troubleshooting all of this as we continue to build and grow, man, on this foundation. Like I said before, man, it was a privilege to see the response that people had, man, on the first episode, that this was really needed. So I'm ready, bro.
We're grateful. We're excited, man. You know, if you tuned in, we're grateful for you and your presence. You know what I'm saying? We hope God is doing the work in your life. We're excited to continue to, you know, find our own, you know, ministry and push it to you guys. You know,
Absolutely.
And with that, we're going to lead into our verse of the day.
Yes, sir.
And today's verse of the day, we did it a little different. So today's episode, first and foremost, we are talking about discipline and being consistent.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So with that, the verse of the day comes from Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we do not give up.
Amen.
Man, that struck something in me, man, because I'm being honest. I have not always been the most disciplined person and consistent person. As far as things that I didn't care to do or don't want to do. You know, so that's an area of growth for me, you know, that I've been working on and I continue to in my pursuit. Like, you know, playing basketball, that's something that I've been able to be disciplined about because I've, you know, love the sport, love the game, you know, my family, but
that's a big key.
You know what I'm saying? But
so love has to coexist in order for your discipline.
Yeah, for me,
to be effective.
For me personally, you know, I have to, you know, just me being honest and transparent, I have to be, you know, into it. You know what I'm saying? Love has to be involved, whether it's a relationship, you know, with someone, you know, I can be there, I can be disciplined with that. But as a regard of like doing something that's like, you know, like when I first was getting started working out on my own, training on my own, man, it was tough. You know, it's still tough, you know, like doing it when you don't want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about when I know, all right, I'm ready to kill this workout. I mean, like when I don't feel like it, man, I've worked, you know, these doubles back to back, 16-hour shifts. Man, I don't feel like getting that done. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I hear you, bro.
That's an area for me, you know, I haven't always been the most disciplined person and consistent with things that I didn't want to do. So that's definitely something for me to work on.
Yeah, I can really vouch for that too, man. Because in things in life that allowed me to push myself way more than what I thought.
Right.
And that part of discipline is hard to gauge
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
In life, you're just not gonna want to do everything that you're supposed to.
Right.
And I struggle with that a lot. But God allowed me to experience a lot of things that didn't go my way in life.
Yeah.
So it made me build up this great nature and habit of just doing things even though I don't feel like it.
Right.
The things I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which really, like we were going back to what we were saying earlier, which really dictates on whether you love something or not. You know,
Right. 100%.
we have this very um, inappropriate view of love that people feel like if you love them or something, that you should always have a great reaction to it, and that's not always the case. You know what I mean? Like
we can speak on that for sure.
I call it the Disney effect. Like people watch so much Disney that
get tripped into that.
Right. You know what I mean? Like they feel like
because you love me, you should always put up with my stuff.
Right. I gauge it a little different. My mind goes, well, I'm gonna be honest about what I don't want to do, so that when I do it, you know that I genuinely and truly love you, or
right.
love the thing,
because I'm doing it for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
In my whole self, I don't want to.
Right.
But I'm gonna do it anyway. Why? Because you know what I mean. Because I do love you.
Right.
Is the fact that I'm doing it.
Exactly.
So it makes a greater scale to me in love when you can involve that type of sacrifice.
And you know what's funny about that? People are inclined to think like, oh, well, why don't you want to do, for me, like you should want to do everything. It's like, no, I'm comfortable and I should be, and I'm entitled to not have to do, what you want me to do, when you want me to do it, how you want me to do it.
Let me tell y'all this. If you feel like at some point in time in your life that people should just absolve you above all, I want to tell you today to get out of your pride. You are one of the most prideful people, and that is in your heart. If you feel like you can't get annoying or irritating or say the wrong things, or that anytime you ask for something, it should just be done because it's you, that's pride, bro. That is prideful living, bro.
Let that go, please.
Please let it go, because there's certain things about us I know for a fact I can be annoying and irritating, and I keep that in my mental, like I'm accountable for that, so that when I do ask for something, I'm in the appropriation of what I'm asking for. I know what to ask and what not to ask at the certain and appropriate times, bro.
That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
And it gets hard. It gets hard to deal with people who feel like you always owe them something. I don't owe you anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now granted, if I make some declarations and saying like, oh yeah, I choose to do this, then I have to be accountable for what I chose to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? To stick true to the truth about something, you know what I mean?
Even if you don't choose to do it, my choice, me choosing not to do it should be respected.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You should be able to resolve within yourself the lines that somebody are able to cross and not cross.
Right.
And that, I feel like that's a big deal when it comes into discipline. Like, because when you're disciplined about certain things, there's certain disciplines that you may need that I don't. But if I love you, I have to acknowledge the disciplines that you have and kind of create them as my own, because if I'm going to be around you or in your space, there's going to be certain things I'm going to have to curve back because you have the disciplines over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may not want to you may be not eating chocolate cake for a year.
Right.
As a brother, as a friend, I would be doing a horrible job if I came the next day with a full chocolate cake and I'm just eating it right in front of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So the disciplines in life, they go a long way. So it's a great skill, bro. And I totally feel like that discipline and I've been struggling with this week. Just having a mind of consistency.
Right.
You know what? I got a question for you. What is the hardest thing about discipline outside of you just not wanting to do it? Are there any other triggers?
Yes, 100%. I think knowing that you need to do it. So, for example, right?
Ooh.
You know, I'm into working out and fitness and, all the different types of things. So, if I don't feel like, training or working out, this, that, and the third, okay, I don't feel like doing it. Okay, cool. But I know for a fact I need to be in this gym getting to it.
Right.
Or, what I'm saying? Because people look to me to provide that, for them, what I'm saying? So if I'm not doing it, what I'm saying, then who is? What I'm saying?
Right.
So it's kind of like, this is what you need to be doing, what I'm saying?
Man.
Because people need to see you doing this in this light, what I'm saying? There's not a lot of people in our family doing it, for one.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we're not doing it, if we're not the ones advocating fitness and, and a healthy living, then who is? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think really the toughest part is just knowing that that's probably what you need to be doing, what you should be focusing on. You know what I'm saying? And that's just in like, a lot of different areas, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be TV watching or, discipline would be like, okay, well, I should be watching this TV. You know what I'm saying? But then it'd be like, all right, taking a step further. All right, let me go.
You know where my discipline is starting to lie in at? Staying away from certain type of people.
Yeah.
Like, I realize that, like, even though I am an influential person, there's certain comforts that certain people offer that's just not good for me.
Right. I don't want that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I build up a discipline to just kind of stay away from those type of people. Like, you know what I mean? So I won't allow myself to fall into certain traps.
Right.
And they're not even like all like negative or evil. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain things that just certain comforts that just
it's not good for you.
Yeah, it's not good for me. You know what I mean? It'll allow me to stay stagnant in the same place. And I've been developing this saying for a while now. You always get better. You always get better. Right. You either get better at getting better, or you get better at getting worse. But you're going to get better
at something.
You're going to get better at something. And I learned that the more you practice something, the better you get at it. You get at it. You know what I'm saying? The more you implement a practice to something, the better you get at it. So if you practice laziness, you're going to get good at being lazy.
The more lazy you are.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I keep that in my mindset, like, man, hey, you're going to get better. And it's a scale of encouragement, and it's also a scale of accountability.
100%. Sure.
Because you're going to get better at getting better. That's your encouragement. You know that you're not going to stay the same, right? You know what I'm saying? That you're going to improve and progress.
Right.
But it's also that accountability, that reminder, say, hey, you're going to get better at getting worse if you allow that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
are you able to hold yourself accountable when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you should be the first person to get on you.
Yeah. It's like, and that's the thing, man. I know so many people that's like, well, you know, this, that, and the third. It's like, do you look at yourself?
At all.
Do you look at yourself and say, well, what can I be better at? You know what I'm saying? like we need to have our own personal accountability boosters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's good right there.
Holding ourselves accountable. Like, people say this.
We need to have our own self-accountability boosters.
Yeah, man. It's like,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're not holding ourselves to a higher standard or holding ourselves accountable, there's no way, shape, or form that we should be trying to do anything for anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, me and you, right? We work together, this, that, and the third. If I'm over here measuring your progress and trying to find things where you need to be better at. It's like, dog, have you looked in the mirror?
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
that's a gem, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like, have you
You
looked?
should not have standards for anybody else if you don't have them for yourself, bro. That is big,
This ain't
bro.
by accident, man.
That
You know,
is,
man.
bro.
This is a prophetic word.
Message,
You feel me?
bro. That's many.
That's
bro.
just real life, man. You know what I'm saying? It's too many people, man, in church as well, man. It's like we're so focused on the next person, how the next person looks, how the next person dresses, you know, how the next person speaks. It's like, yo, measure yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Measure yourself. You know, and I deal with a lot of people throughout my day, so it's
I
kind of
hope y'all are hearing this.
measure yourself first. You know, that's a T-shirt.
Right.
Measure thyself.
Measure thyself. I love it, bro. I love it. That's,
You know what
bro,
I'm
that is a gem, bro. That's a token. Because you cannot have any other value and view of anything if you don't look at yourself first.
And I saw something, man, you know, on social media said, it was said something along the lines of like, I can't make anyone else better until I make myself better.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I have to, and like you talked about, I spoke about a little bit in the first episode, deep work. You know what I'm saying? Really looking at yourself. Yeah. I know what I struggle with. 100%. Nobody got to tell me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just voiced it. Discipline, consistency, X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So, for me personally to get better, I would have to get better in those areas first before I could, like, you know, help somebody else.
How can you pass on what you don't know?
I'm doing myself a disservice.
Right.
I'm doing that person a disservice.
Right.
By speaking onto something that I'm not even fulfilled in yet.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and it lets you know the quality of people that you're around too, if they're willing to accept you that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that always triggered me. Like, man, it made me get away from certain people because I was like, man, if you're comfortable with accepting this person right here, you know what I'm saying? You're doing me damage, bro. Like, because I'm trying to grow. You know what I'm saying? And that growing is also a filtering process of who comes around you too. Because how many times have we gotten better and lost certain friends, certain acquaintances, certain environments we
just not around them.
Right. Yeah. You have to understand, like, oh, like, that was really never the main or total picture, because once I grew, they didn't either, they had no way to catch up, or they seen no way that we could still be, you know what I'm saying?
Or they saw you as
a threat.
You were excelling to a different level and was like, oh man, you this, or you that. Oh man, you switching up. Oh, you this, you know what I'm saying?
Intimidation.
And became envious of that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. You know personally.
I do.
You know personally.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was younger, and I would look, you know, at my life and I was like, man, I go to church, you know, I come from a church family. I never thought I was better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be like my friends.
Right.
So, you know, but there was times where I felt like my friends would joke and make fun of me for being different, speaking proper, dressing a certain way. You know, I don't sag my pants.
Having both parents.
Yeah, like that's the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, I prayed about this. I feel like they were envious of me,
right?
Because of my upbringing.
Right.
Like, man, I can't apologize for, you know, being blessed with what I have.
You start experiencing systems of sabotage.
But instead of me taking it the wrong way and lashing out at my friends and me being envious to their envy,
right?
I became like, I got older and got to a place like, man, I need to just love people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you provide love for them and be there for them, you know, it'll always be a mutual. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be able to balance itself out,
right?
And you'll have some resolve in the places where y'all necessarily don't meet,
right?
Equally, you know what I'm saying?
But they know it. Hey, you always show love,
right?
You my brother,
right?
You know, whether we still kicking it or not, you know, they thousands of miles away, or they here or they that. I'm always show love to you because that's the kind of person that I am. That's the kind of person that I've grown to be.
To me, the best friendships or relationships is the ones where you don't have to see and talk to them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that both parties are on their individual journeys and growing. You know what I'm saying? So that when it comes a time when they do see each other, they see the growth in each other that allows them to become closer in whatever relationship. You know what I mean? So that bro, that's a big deal.
And I think
like
with the discipline and consistency, man, it goes back to kind of what you spoke about episode 1, getting out of your own way.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
because you're your biggest enemy.
Yeah, man. Like
you're your biggest opponent.
Your enemy is that person that's in the mirror.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like, I thought about that. And I was like, man, once you get out your own way, man, you know, the sky is the limit. Like, you know, you're free from the chains of, you know what I'm saying?
Bondage.
Yeah.
Because it was a tough lesson for me to learn. Like, I had to learn that even if somebody did something like vicious to me, or they had evil or bad intentions, even their decisions, even those decisions, I still had to look at myself.
Right.
That was so hard for me to learn because I was like, well, they're doing it to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I learned that whatever my reaction was, which we talked about on the first episode, right. whatever my truth was at the time, my reaction at the time, yep. I realized that was inside of me.
Right.
So you could come at me wrong, but if I reciprocate that, the reciprocation has nothing to do with the person. That is inside of me.
Right. Now you have power over me because
right. That's inside of my heart. If I lash out, if I cuss you out, or if I get
that's who I am.
That's who I am.
If I've shown
I have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was tough for me to learn. I was like, man, this is why response has to be contextual.
Yeah.
Your response has to have some type of context to it.
Right.
Because you ultimately are saying or telling a truth that's necessarily inside of you, so that when you deal with certain things, and I'm talking about everything, and this is a painful thing to learn.
Right.
I'm talking about people that have been raped. I'm talking about people that have been robbed. I'm talking about people that have been persecuted. I'm talking about people that had their life in somebody else's hands. Somebody really was trying to take you out. You know what I mean? Even those things, you still have to look at self. You know what I mean? And it's hard to learn that. You know what I mean? It's very hard to learn that. And it's very hard to put yourself in a place mentally because it's something being done to you.
In the moment, it's very tough.
It's tough.
It's generally easier after the moment passes. You have time to think about it.
Right.
And in the moment, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? But even me, man, when I'm dealing with certain people, man, like you know, being at work has helped me just brush stuff off. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've always been a laid back, cool guy anyway. So, but sometimes the extra word comes out. You know, shout out to mom. But
man,
sometimes it comes out. But as of late, you know what I'm saying, I've really grown to be like, I'm not giving my energy to this, man.
In the Bible, it says that there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
So that means, and that's a contextual statement. There's a time for everything. So certain times, there is a time for you to you gotta be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And then there's also a time for you to, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna react. I'm not gonna. There's a time to be around, a time to fellowship, a time to have community. But there's also a time to, hey, I need to kind of pull myself to the side, take myself out of the rat race a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
spend
some time with God, spend some time with Jesus.
That's important.
It's very important, man. Like it's something major, but not how people make it. People try to make it as if like you got to be this overly spiritual person, this guru of faith. You know what I mean? People try to make it out like you got to know certain contexts and certain scriptures and all these things. You may just be starting out in the faith.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But just like anything else, faith has to be learned.
Right. It's a process.
Faith has to be learned. The Bible says that we go from faith to faith, glory to glory. So there's like you said, there's a process happening.
Right.
I didn't know God how I know him now 5 years ago. Thank God that I know him more now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that kind of ties in with that development.
Right.
And understanding your reaction, understanding like what's important to you.
Right.
Dad said that in the last sermon, this past sermon, you know, that there are going to be certain things that are important to you,
right,
that are not going to be as important anymore when you get older, and there's going to be things that you just did not care about that you're gonna start to care about, bro.
That's that growth.
You know what I mean? Like that's that good work in progress. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad they've been driving that into the body, into the living way these past weeks, man, because it you know, it's so easy to, and this is another thing discipline does, that if you don't take care of it appropriately, it brings on shame,
right,
and condemnation.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear, man, that I'm a good work in progress. That's great to hear. You know what I mean? Like, that's so encouraging that, man, I don't have to have it all figured out today.
Right.
I don't have to have it all put together. Matter of fact, I'm really not putting it together. God is, so that I can, He's laid the plan out so that I can follow the plan to the T.
Right.
So all I have to do is just be obedient.
Yeah.
That's a part of discipline too,
yeah,
and consistency.
Yeah.
A lot of us can't be consistent because we aren't obedient. And that you're gonna need that above all in today's world, in the faith, in Christ living. There's just gonna be certain things you gotta be obedient to that allows you, that makes your discipline journey a little bit more easier.
Right. Yeah.
A little bit more swifter, a little bit more seamless.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that it's like it strikes my heart, bro. Like because I said, I've been struggling with consistency, and
likewise.
God has been dealing with me like, man, like, bro, you know, there's certain things you know that you need to be doing.
Right.
And you've been running away from those things. So being consistent is going to be a little bit hard for you because the things you're trying to be consistent in necessarily ain't really for you. I don't really want that for you. That's a tough pill to swallow.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow. The things that you're choosing to be consistent in, it's a struggle because I don't really want that for you.
Right. That's not what I've given you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know that if I don't sit and talk to God. You know what I'm saying?
Have that conversation with him.
Right.
Remember we was telling Cuz, hey man, it's some conversations that you need to have, bro. That you're gonna have to have with God.
Sit down and go speak with him, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I'm putting this out there too. We told him you can't hurt God's feeling.
Right.
You cannot hurt God's feelings.
He's seen it all, man.
He knows what you're experiencing.
Right.
He knows what's in your heart. You need to get that out on the table.
He's just waiting on you.
And a lot of the times we damage other people with our words because we're not spending time with God enough and getting those words off to Him who can handle it. Then we tell it to average Joe or Show Mo,
right,
or your brother or your sister, and then you're telling them things, and now you've driven a complex or an agenda in their mind. Now they're thinking like, oh, I'll never be. That's my brother, or that's my.
Or you trying to get them to understand something
that they won't,
and they're not going to understand it.
Right.
You don't know how to communicate that.
Right.
You feel me? Yeah.
If you're angry, talk to God. If you're sad, talk to God. If you're happy, clap your hands and talk to God.
You know, and you know what's crazy? Like, you know, and I was kind of thinking, and I won't put it like, you know, like, but I would just say like this, like, you can tell like people by how they, like their reactions, like, and just listening to them speak, you can just tell like that they don't spend time by themselves enough or meditate, you know, speak to God. You can just tell, you know what I'm saying? Like
I learned that in a lot of people. That's a fear, bro.
Yeah.
People are always around somebody because they cannot stand a moment by themselves.
Right.
It's certain people that's just so tormented by their mindset. The enemy has infiltrated every gap that is open in their life, to where that if they're alone for just a moment and they just hear their thoughts, it's just all
it eats them.
Those thoughts eat at them, and they can't even tolerate a moment of silence because all they hear is the enemy just attacking them. So you know what they do? They call up, hey, what you doing? Right. You want to go eat?
Right.
You want to go party? You want to go? Oh, let me hit the X.
Right.
Oh, let me hit the. I know this person is envious of me, and they always leave me out to dry, but I just don't want to be alone.
Right.
So let me hit them up. What you doing? Where you at? You know what I mean? Now we got this life full of people or things.
Right.
Don't forget the things. People just buy things and hoard things, and
right.
because they don't want to lose certain sights and memories.
They're steady trying to cover up the truth. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to look at that truth.
Oh,
you know, and the issues that they have internally. You know what I'm saying? And I've always tried to be a vessel to people, man, and just be there for people. You know what I'm saying? When they need to talk, and I'm like, man, instead of you going and drowning yourself in these sorrows over here, or doing this, that, and the third, man, just talk to me, man. You know, I'll be that ear for you. You know, like at work, you know, people come up, and you know, I got coworkers who laugh. And I'm like, man, y'all laugh at these people, man, but y'all don't know what they struggle with. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the immaturity that people have. Is just like, when you're all so caught up in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I was dealing with a lady at work who, and she might be off. She might be off.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
That's not for me to go find out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not a doctor. But, you know, she has a disability. And she comes through my office and she like starts to talk, and I'm like, I told my coworkers, I said, I just listen. Because she might just need to talk to somebody.
Man.
I'm saying, but y'all sit here and laugh like it's funny. And it's a joke. I said, man, see, that could come back on you. You feel me?
Because it goes back to what we were talking about before. Because a lot of people don't want to look at themselves,
right,
and see themselves where they expose.
A lot of people are great deflectors.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? I got this issue.
It's a whole bunch of life Dikembe Mutombos out here.
But I'm gonna go look at you. I'm gonna go look at you. Oh, what you?
Right.
Man, be. You know, what's the word? Be secure in yourself and truthful with yourself daily, where you can look, and if somebody speaks up to you, you're not surprised, you're not deflecting it, you're not getting mad when they say something about you.
Because you shouldn't be talking about anybody if you're living paycheck to paycheck. You shouldn't be talking about anybody if you're having trouble with your family. You shouldn't be talking about anybody if you're struggling to pay your bills. You shouldn't be talking about anybody if you're on food stamps.
I take it.
Not as a knock to anybody. I'm just saying there's exposure everywhere.
I'll take it one further. You shouldn't be talking about anybody.
Period. Because one thing, and God's a genius this way. God is the ultimate genius. And I've said this before. I just don't remember where. He's the ultimate genius because he created us in a way that's so together, right? That when we start to ridicule and persecute each other, we in the same breath begin to talk about ourselves. So when you say, hey, look at them, they such and such and such and such, you know how they say when you point the finger, you got three pointed back at you? That is a genius way for God to keep us humble and on the same level so that we can love each other. You know what I'm saying? Because the moment that I start persecuting you, I persecute myself. Because why? It's not like you're a human being and I'm something different. No, we're both human beings. So whatever weakness you have is a possibility of weakness that I have or actual weakness that I have. Because most people talk about, this is the funny thing about people. Most people talk about the things that they struggle with and then project that onto other people. It's certain people that don't even struggle with the things that people struggle with, but the weaknesses that are of ourselves, we project it onto other people. Other people, like, and then we like that.
We gotta stop. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop doing it.
You know, like just be truthful with yourself.
Honest.
You know what I'm saying?
Be honest.
It's not hard, bro. You're in your mind 24 hours a day, every day. You're in your body. You're the only one that has to pick your body up, you know, deal with your inner thoughts. Like no one else does. So you know yourself better than anyone else.
Yeah, it's not like every day of the week you wake up and you get to be somebody else. No, you wake up and you're you every day.
It should be a pretty solid journey to just come to your own truth. And people are so funny because because people are, "Oh, I need to speak my truth." No, you need to be truthful with yourself.
Oh my God. Show is over.
Like, I know some people are so personal to
Oh man,
me. You're getting mad at me for speaking my truth. No, I want you to be truthful with yourself. You feel me? Like,
oh my
you know what I'm saying? I can do this. I can do
Do
this
you
all
know
day.
how much people say that? I need to speak my truth. No, you just need to go home and just be truthful with yourself.
And just think about
so when you're truthful with yourself, you don't feel obligated or feel persecuted to speak your truth because you don't have to. Because you already did it to yourself.
You don't feel threatened or attacked when somebody tells you something. You know what I'm saying? If you know yourself, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
You know how far and deep you can swim.
Exactly.
You know,
right.
And don't laugh at somebody because they in the shallow end. You know what I'm saying? Don't get high and mighty on yourself because somebody in the shallow end and you swimming in deep waters. Because you know what happened? You could drown just that fast, man. You know what I'm saying? You could fall. Just that the Bible says, take heed lest you fall. So look at yourself. Take heed to what's going on around you, to what you're doing, to what you're saying. And that's another thing too. A lot of the stuff we go through is the stuff that we speak over ourselves unknowingly. We speak a lot of stuff about.
That's a word.
We speak a lot of things. We let a lot of stuff come out of our mouth. And shout out to Unc. Shout out to Pastor Maurice Green, senior pastor at the Living Way, 3979 Chestnut Avenue, Concord, California. Shout out to Unc. He gave us a topic to ask us: do people talk too much?
100%.
Yes.
100%. 100%. And people don't speak to listen. You know what I'm saying? If we having a conversation.
What did you eat today? Bro, you are hitting. Bro.
I had God's holy word.
What is going, bro? You are hitting the balls out of the park, bro.
Hey, man, this is like I told you, I can do this all day. All day.
Oh, you just said about 6-7 gyms consecutively.
People don't speak to listen, man. This is stuff I deal with. You know, on my day to day. You know what I'm saying? People say, okay, or
you should write a book.
I think I am. Man.
You should, bro.
I've been wanting to.
You should, bro.
I don't know what I'm entitled, but you know, people say these things.
Just what you said. This is what I deal with day to day. That's a perfect title. Right. Day to day things. Bro, because you are saying some people don't.
But you can tell that's revelation.
Don't talk.
That's revelation. People don't talk to listen.
To listen.
They speaking to get back.
That is a bar.
I don't care to get that with y'all. You know, and that's what I'm saying. That's when I become cool off for certain people because you're going a certain way, and I'm not looking to go. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to communicate and have a certain conversation, let's do that. But it's my day to day. These regulations I have, man.
Going back to the first episode, some people just do not have the capacity.
You know what I'm saying?
Just some people I learned that the hard way. Some people just don't have the capacity to communicate to communicate with you on the level that you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I don't like small talk. Like I don't like just idle talk. Like if you are engaging with me and to keep me engaged in that engagement, you got to be talking about something that got some weight on it. Eventually, it might get too deep for you because I'm gonna talk about
I'm a deep person,
right? Because I'm gonna talk about some stuff that go beneath the surface. Bro.
I'm a deep person. And I don't apologize for it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, granted. Now, if we talk about even, you know what? You know what's the crazy thing? Even the general topics will get deep with me. So if we start talking about sports, I'm gonna start talking about the psychology of sports, on why certain players do certain things, on why off-court experiences or off-the-field experiences affect the on-court or the on-field experiences. It's going to get deep, even though it's a general topic. We can start talking about cheese. I'm about to start talking about all the cheeses.
You got the mozzarella or pepper.
You got the breeze. You got the pepper jacks. Like, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The mozzarella, like, it's still going to go beneath the surface with me.
It's gonna go farther than what
you think.
Yeah.
Because that's how a conversation should actually happen. Because then when you get left in that idle or small talk, you begin to start doing one or two things. You start talking about things that don't matter. Or, and this is a lot of our snares, we begin to gossip about things that aren't our business.
Okay.
If you leave it to small talk, you're going to do those two things.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about things that don't matter, so you're wasting your breath, your God-given life, or you're going to start gossiping about people and things you have no business talking about.
And you have no control over.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So I've always thought that, like, okay, you telling me or you knowing about somebody's life, what does that do for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that help you personally? Like, I've never been into, like, down in somebody about a decision they made and this, that, and the third, because what does that do for me?
It doesn't.
I'm not a person that thrives off of anybody else's misfortune.
It doesn't excel me in life. It don't put no money in my pocket.
Yeah.
It doesn't benefit me spiritually.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any validity on my life. Nothing to do, like we always like to say, it has nothing to do with nothing.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing, you dealing with, that's why I say, my calling, bro, is just to, with dealing with so many different people, it's just to love on all people, man, because, and then, a word that really sticks with me is gratitude. I did a class yesterday. I did a hot yoga class yesterday, right? And, I was the only male in there. It was including the instructor, there were 6 other women in the class. And the class whooped me. Like, I mean, I've been an athlete my whole life, so of course I'm able to,
acclimate.
I'm able to do my thing and represent for all the athletes.
Right.
But, these ladies in there on their stuff. You know what I'm saying? They handling business.
Getting it in.
Flexible. They in all the poses, in all the positions. And I'm sitting up here like struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I still was doing my thing. But I'm just like, and the instructor, she was just keying in on like, find your gratitude today.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you could tell, like, it goes back to the point. You can always tell somebody who spends their time, whether they believe in a God or not, they spend time alone with themselves. They know they're comfortable and they know their own truth as far as who they are as a person.
Right.
And so I could tell just listening to her speak, man, she's a nice person and she's grateful for life and she's teaching this class. And she said, without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm very aware of what's going on. She's not in the class critiquing. She ain't laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? She's aware of what's going on.
Right.
If I'm doing something off, she coming by to give me a little tweak, and we moving.
Because centered people.
But she not gossiping. She not laughing.
People who are centered or centered people help other people get centered.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we were talking about before about how when you allow yourself to grow or get outside of yourself, you start to acquire the things that support that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just
you said it about the post. You won't get people better until you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until you get better yourself. Yeah. Because when you get better yourself, you now have the ability to pull people up to where you at.
Right. Or they're gonna stay, or if they don't want to get better, they're gonna stay.
Where they are, yeah. And that allows you to filter out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, start.
Moving, clear stuff out.
Or you going
and that's a thing too, because you can't get more if you're already full of stuff. So the people out there that's want more out of life, you might be holding on and you're not seeing it. You might be holding on to some things that just necessarily just in the way and have so much capacity filled that you don't have any room to acquire anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that allows you to stay stagnant. That allows you to experience the same thing over and over again. That's why we were talking about that too, that insanity factor.
Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Insanity.
But that's why you gotta do deep work within yourself, man. Like, it's important to analyze your relationships. Analyze the way that you speak during the day. Analyze how you interact with people.
Analyze how you treat yourself.
Analyze how you communicate.
Analyze how you treat yourself.
Analyze yourself on a wide scale. Analyze your diet. Analyze all these different things so you know, am I contributing to my own self-destruction?
Ooh.
You feel me? Am I my own worst? Am I my own worst enemy? You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Oh my God!
These are things that I do though, man. Like I know my habits.
What did this man eat for breakfast?
But
am I contributing to my own self-destruction?
me personally, you know what I'm saying?
That's the question of life.
I'm looking inward. I'm doing the deep work within myself, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
And in turn, me asking myself that question, in turn, I can look at, am I being disciplined with this? Am I being consistent in my actions, in what I say, what I want? You know what I'm saying? Are my habits drawing me closer to my goal, or pulling me further away?
Am I walking it like I talk it?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And for me personally, I can only speak for me personally. That's the only thing I can do. I gotta ask myself that question, man. And I know when I'm catting off.
When you off.
I know when I'm catting off.
That's a good thing, bro. That's a good.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good key, and that's healthy.
I'm not perfect.
You know what I mean? When you know you off the course.
Yeah.
Because some people get off course, don't even know. Some people don't even care.
Some people get off course and blame other people for pushing for them getting off course.
Man.
And you know, I watch these motivational speakers, man. Eric Thomas and Inky Johnson, man, and when you know they be speaking, and Eric Thomas is like, yeah, man, you know, I was homeless and this, that, and the third, and I ate out of trash cans, this, that, and the third, but look where I am now. So it's like your situation, you know, shouldn't define
where you're
your
going.
Life moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Going.
Like I'm very compassionate and empathetic for people, but we can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't sit in that. Like something happened to you at 8. Or now we 28, 38, you're going to have trauma from it. You know, I'm not disregarding what you went through, your struggles, your emotions. I'm not disregarding that, but I'm saying that you're still here for a reason.
Because, oh my God, that's great, bro.
You're still here for a reason.
Bro. Because
so that means we got to move forward.
Because the longer you identify with your past, it's the longer that becomes your identity.
That means we got to move forward.
You're not what you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Where you're going.
You're where you're. Oh my, what is going on with you, bro? You are not what you're going through. You're where you're going. He has literally.
Did I say that?
He has literally said.
I say that, you know, because some people can misinterpret. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that I've been through is basically to say, like, you know, my past is my past.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to look toward my future. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a smart person, everybody is smart in their own way. Everybody's unique and beautiful in their own way. So you're still here living. So you got your own destiny. So you got to push toward that. You know what I'm saying? Press in.
Absolutely.
To what you feel.
You know what that reminds me of, bro? It reminds me of the Lion King. The baboon's name, what's his name? Rafiki, I think his name was. Where he's talking to Simba, and he has the staff in his hand, and he hits Simba on the head, and he hits him on the head.
Yeah.
And then he goes, man, why did you do that? And Rafiki says, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. And then Simba says, but my head still hurts. He said, oh yeah. He said, the past can still hurt. The past definitely still can hurt.
That's tough.
And then he said, and he swung at him again, and Simba ducked.
That is tough.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a word for sure. Wow.
Sometimes your pain is the lesson.
Your pain is gonna still linger.
You remember the past only to learn from it, so that when the staff swings again, you're not sitting there now. Now you duck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
now you know.
That reminds me of that, bro.
I'm not
like
going back to what I was. You know, how I was.
You now know how dark it can get. Right. But the best thing about that is that there's no way but up from there. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing but light to be seen from that. I love the fact that it gets the darkest because now when the light is around, I can see it. I know exactly which way to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why Jesus is the best thing ever, because in this world it can get very dark.
Right.
But you know one thing that's very valid and very true, that the light that God has placed in us shines brightly in this world because of the darkness.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of need both. You know what I mean? Don't be so caught up in what you're losing that you forget to celebrate what you've gained.
Don't be so caught up. Okay, yeah.
Like, don't be so caught up in the loss that you have that you totally negate and forget to celebrate and rejoice over what you've gained in life.
Right. Don't be so caught up in what you've been through that you forget and overlook how far you
come from that. Because some things that we have that we're nagging about and crying over, if we look and be like, man, that was 20 years ago. Wait a minute, that was 20 years ago, and I'm still here. Like, yeah, there might be some effects.
There's a reason for that.
Might be some tendencies.
There'll be some trauma, and
you know what I'm saying?
Some ways that you have it's made you, to get you where you are. But hey,
right,
you're here.
But you're here.
You feel me?
Right,
you're here.
Now you can change.
And that's why they say
you can still change the story.
Sometimes we gotta go through them storms. You know what I'm saying? Like their dad talked about in the sermon, storms, because them storms, man, propel us for the greatness.
That pruning.
You know what I'm saying?
That
they put us in a position.
That I was about to say that position to level up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like bamboo. When you plant bamboo plants, they say that it takes so the plant is like submerged, right? Like every other seed, whatever, right?
Right.
But bamboo specifically is very unique in its growth process. I think it takes 3 years for it to sprout. I'm talking about for the initial sprout. But once it sprouts, so 3 years, you're talking about 3 years in the dirt, in the grime, in the dark. But once it sprouts, it can grow a certain amount of feet. I think 1 or 2 feet per 24 hours or 24 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Once it starts to grow, it's like
the sky's the limit.
It just takes off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that we're in a dark in, and we feel like, man, we'll never make it. But just keep growing. You know what I'm saying? Keep trying to get clarity and understanding and building up patience, a perfect patience. I believe that's in James, where it talks about hardship, how we experience hardship, and that you should get excited when you experience certain hardships, because you know that your faith is being refined and being tested and being proved that you actually have what you're saying.
Right.
When we say we have faith in God, we say it, but now it's time to prove it in certain areas in our life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What you got?
So I would say, man, let's see. What areas, since we already kind of covered, discipline and consistent. Yeah, we covered a good amount. We happy with that. I would say, who are some people that have helped you along your journey as far as discipline and consistency? Although we aren't where we want to be, who are some people that have kind of some models for you that have kind of
Big ups to the family, man.
Right.
My family.
Right.
I mean, us being in ministry for one, that takes a level of consistency, because you have to constantly be working on yourself. You have to be constantly working on your relationship with God.
20 plus years for them.
And I have literally seen that since I was a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm an adult now. And that level of consistency only is divine, bro.
Right.
Only God,
it's a one-on-one.
Through His Holy Spirit, has strengthened our family to stay that consistent.
It's a one-on-one right there.
The Bible says that they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So our family had been in some waiting for some things in a long, and are waiting.
Still are.
and are waiting
Yeah,
for some things, man.
Right.
And the strength that God has given us to be effective, man, the way we are, bro.
Still
Like,
minister.
that has been my greatest example. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of God, my relationship with God, the example of Jesus, who is the ultimate example, you know what I'm saying? My family, bro, has been like bar none to me, man. Like,
Right.
and even in their specific endeavors
Right.
about learning and building certain things. My brother, man, who when he sees it, he plans it out, man, and he goes for it, and he sees how far he can go, and he's honest about the limitations. You know, he's honest about how he feels about it. He's not afraid to express how he feels about it. And this is my younger brother, and I look at that as like monumental. Like, man, that's a mantle to me. My uncle, my father, who have been at the head of church leadership for years,
Right.
and they don't allow the rift between people and how people operate,
right,
to deter them from what God has for them in ministry,
right,
not just have for, and what God has for them ultimately in their own lives, because there's a difference. There's a difference between that scale, and it has to be perpetuated that way, because with my family, life is ministry, so it coexists.
100%.
It coexists with each other in this in this perfect relationship that if you don't cultivate it properly, it'll damage a lot. It'll damage a lot of.
We've always been careful of that,
man. Yeah. Because that type of level of consistency, man, has, like I said before, it has to be divine. It has to come from a godly strength, because it is like a coexisting relationship, man. My family's life, our lifeline, our generations that are tied into the bloodline, it has been ministry.
Right.
So it has been very hard for our family to separate the two when it's time to, you know what I mean? Because there has to be a balance. But that has been my example, bro, of consistency, of, like, you know what I'm saying? Of just pure leadership and pure discipline.
Right.
Because there's certain times, man, where I can vouch for this, man. There's certain times where I don't want to get in my word. Yeah. I've had moments where I was just like, man, I don't want that conviction. I'm okay right now, because I know once I get in there, I'm gonna be accountable for what I read. You know what I mean? Now, granted, now I love to spend time with God and get in His Word, but there was certain moments when I was growing up, I was like, man, like, and then it was when I seen my family, when I seen my mom, who will tell you till she blue in the face, you need a relationship with God. You ever talk to my mom personally? Right. Anybody ever talk to our mother personally? Right. That's the first thing she gonna tell you.
Shout out to mom.
Do you pray? Do you read your word? No. Are you talking to God?
Mom, I'm 27. Mom still asks me, did you talk to God today?
Right. Like, it's almost like, did you brush your teeth today? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what it is.
Did you wash your face?
That's what it is.
Like, did you talk to God today?
Like, those
have you?
Too.
It used to irritate me all the time, because she'd be like, Marcus, have you been praying?
All right.
And I'd be like, Mom, like, can we talk about a regular conversation? Like, please? And
that's her conversation.
But that's her.
That's part of it.
That's her. That's her, man. That's her starter.
Yeah.
Where's God at with you?
Where's it? Yeah.
That's her good morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's been that level of consistency that has shaped me, bro. Shaped my mindset, bro.
But that's the dope part, because when you constantly hearing something, you're like, okay, I gotta tune into this. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it like when you're younger and you keep hearing it, and you're like, okay, maybe I gotta take this serious.
And that's the blessing of consistency. That when you keep hearing it, it's going to have its effect. Yeah. If it's negative, if you keep hearing it, it's going to have its effect. If it's positive,
for me, like, I kind of, gotta second that as far as the family. But I also, I give my flowers to my lady. Just seeing her from a work aspect and standpoint, how hard she works and how she's disciplined and knowing that, if I don't get this done, if I don't, then it won't get done. If I don't go to work every day, what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have nowhere to, sleep. I'm not gonna have nowhere to, what I'm saying? I gotta do this myself.
So your motivation is seeing a hard worker.
So like I said, what I'm saying? Like she's a person who went through a lot, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And has endured struggle. And I'm attracted to struggle and wanting to be there for people, being a vessel.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? To show love and gratitude. What I'm saying? Something they might not really have seen from a person that comes from a spiritual background.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You might have seen it in different lights and they got used to that and thought, okay, well, this is what I should be accepting. But like, nah, now you come into another side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who shows different love and compassion and really is there for me, when I need them and this, that, and the third. So I do give, flowers to her as far as just always, being disciplined in her routine, going to work every single day, never missing a day. Even days when we first were together, hey, take a day off, da 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 da. You gonna pay me for the day? Go ahead, go to work.
Go ahead, you go ahead and clock in.
Go ahead and
go
to
ahead
work.
clock
You know what I mean? But just like with her, that's her discipline and consistency as far as work is very dope. And I've been working on getting better in that area. And then like you said with the family, man, just a bunch of even outside of our family, there's so many people that have played a part in a role as far as just being disciplined and being around us and being consistent.
Absolutely.
And having a presence with us. There's so many people. It's like I don't even and I just thank them all.
Just the sports world alone. Sports world. Shout out Damian Lillard, man.
Just people.
One of the greatest conversations I had. Shout out Damian Lillard. One of the greatest conversations I had with him before he was drafted in the NBA. And I was struggling with my grades. And he pulled me to the side. And I love him for this because he didn't have to do this. He pulled me to the side and he was like, man, like, what do you want to do in life? He was like, you want to work? He was like, I don't want to ask people for paper or plastic. I don't want to have a job. I want my job to be what I love. And he told me straight to my face, like, bro, I'm going to the league, bro. What you want to do? Like, bro, like, take this stuff seriously. And lo and behold, he gets drafted 6.
Yeah. He had a growth mindset.
He got drafted 6th pick, you know what I'm saying? To Portland Trail Blazers. From Oakland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I agree with you. It's been influences outside the family as well, where you just like see dedication
and people don't. And the crazy part is, and this is why I say it, just us being deep people. Some people might not even know that they had such an influence.
Impact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I might not even and I'm sometimes so deep, and that's why me to go and tell them and give them a paragraph like, oh man, you this that.
You did this.
They probably look like I was crazy.
Right. Or don't even remember.
Because it wouldn't really it wouldn't be nothing to them. But to me it's a big deal.
Right.
Because it's like, man,
that stuck with me.
I had a conversation with TJ and Trey Taylor. And I'm like, and he was seeing my grades. No. Don't even go to grades, right? He was seeing me. I was playing junior varsity my freshman year before I got moved up to varsity my sophomore year. And I think we played against like Castle Valley. And shout out Juan Anderson, went to Castle Valley. Now in the NBA, on the Lakers, won the championship with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, he did, man.
Shout out to Juan Anderson. But
shout out Juan, man.
We were playing, and I had 27 against them, right? And I'm talking about people coming up to me. Some of the players on varsity, man, you had the dub, man. I see you, right? I get to TJ. And TJ got the face like you got. I'm not impressed.
Right.
Like, you didn't play no defense. So imagine you go up, everybody praising you, right? I'm like, my boy, he was like, I looked up to him. As far as the player in person I wanted to be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I get to him, I'm thinking he about to, dab me up. He was like, hey, yeah, man, good game. But you didn't play no defense. And I was like,
sheesh.
Yikes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that was that's the truth that you need to
you need to hear.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. That I wasn't looking at. But somebody was able to.
If you want to be that player that you're aspiring to be,
somebody was able to get me to see that.
you gotta. Hey, you
know what I'm
need
saying?
to be all around.
And it wasn't like a pick or an attack. It was like, nah, bro, this is
important.
what you need to work on.
Yeah, this is important.
So, like, I always, look to him.
Stuff stick with you.
For guidance, man. He like, that conversation was dope. And he probably don't remember it. You know what I'm saying? But it was just certain things that always stuck with me. Like, it could be the smallest encounter. And I'll remember it because, like, bro, that impacted me.
Yes.
Helped me become the clear-minded individual that I am.
It stuck with you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the big deal, bro. That's the important factor, man. This has been another episode, man, of Honestly Speaking, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us,
tuning
man.
in, man.
We coming back with it again.
Discipline and consistency.
I cannot wait for episode 3. Episode 3.
Hey, every week we getting better.
Man.
Tell your friends, man. Tune in.
Man, share, like, comment. Please comment.
Hey.
Please comment.
Hey, the link is we got an Instagram page.
Oh, yeah, it's up and running.
The Honestly Speaking Pod, POD _. So you can follow us there. You can tune in. The link is in the bio. You can watch the clips. On YouTube, we're at The Living Way.
We want to see y'all, man.
The Living Way Church.
Yep.
Or is it the Living Way Church?
Impact
at the Living Way. Impact Concord at the Living Way.
Yep.
So YouTube is Impact Concord at the Living Way. We're on YouTube. You can check us out there. But most importantly, subscribe.
Please subscribe. Please comment. Please like and share this, man. Yeah. Share this. This is for y'all. This is for the people, man.
Hey, and
if you want to inspire somebody, if you want to motivate somebody, get somebody out their skin, man. You know what I'm saying? Get like we've been preaching, man. Get outside of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Share this with somebody you know that's like-minded, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want somebody to honestly speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, man, we out here. Honestly
speaking, December, we're going to have our first guest. So y'all make sure y'all tuning in, man, and keep building that engagement because you don't want to miss what we got leading up to that. All right? And you never know. You might be able to be a guest and speak on this platform. So
we want you.
Keep tuning in, man.
As a guest
we love you.
Man.
We praying for you. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
We out.
Hey, what's up, good people? This is Elijah Green, the 4th here. We just wrapped up our 2nd episode of the Honestly Speaking podcast, man. Great, groundbreaking conversation here at the Living Way Church. Me and my brother, Marcus. Great conversation just speaking on discipline and consistency. Being truthful with yourself, and it was groundbreaking, man. We talked about people who helped us through our journeys. So it's dope. You don't want to miss it, man. Be sure to tune in on Instagram to our Instagram page, Honestly Speaking Pod _. And our YouTube channel is Impact Concord at the Living Way. All right, be sure to like the video, comment under the video what you think, and subscribe to our channel. All right, we look forward to more engagement with you. And in December, we'll have our first guest. All right, so you don't want to miss the engagement. All right, so make sure y'all keep tuning in to the videos. All right, we look forward to possibly having you one day.